Welcome back to the Sibling Group Chat. I'm Owen.
And I'm Cassidy.
And today we are back at it with the Odyssey review, episode 63, Harley Returns.
I believe it's the Return of Harley.
It's not what I have written down.
That's what I wrote down. I think that's what it is.
Well, why don't you tell us about the episode while I look up the title?
Whatever it's called. These are episodes 70 and 71 of Adventures in Odyssey. And they originally aired on April 29th and May 1st, 1989, which is a 3-week break since the episode before, which I believe is the first time that we have a break. I think we've been every single week since the start of the show, but there's a 3-week break here in air dates. So that's interesting. This is part of the Officer Harley collection. These are the last episodes of the Officer Harley collection. And in these episodes, Officer Harley returns to Odyssey and is caught up in a mystery involving bootleggers and hidden caves. And our theme is imagination.
You were right, it is called The Return of Harley.
I was pretty sure it was.
I don't know why I didn't put that then.
Well, the episode description
anyway.
says Officer Harley returns, so, it's fine.
Yeah, anyway, our intro, we have Chris looking at her yearbook and reminiscing. She played piccolo in the marching band, and coincidentally, their school song sounded an awful lot like the Adventures in Odyssey theme song.
Yeah, well, also, just the fact that Chris graduated from Odyssey High, I thought was interesting. Like, I forget that Chris lives in Odyssey, because Chris doesn't really live in Odyssey. So,
She does,
yeah.
But she doesn't.
She does, but she doesn't, yeah. It'd been funny if, she had thrown out some names of people, but I don't think we have enough adults yet in the show for that to have worked. But it would be fun.
And she tells us that an old friend is coming back for today's episode, which got me to thinking, and then, made me realize that when people would have been listening to this for the first time, on radio, any of these episodes, they don't know the titles of the episodes before they start listening.
That's true. Yes. So they would have really been surprised.
Yeah. But anyway, getting into it. We start our episode with Jack, who has a nose for excitement, and he's reading a mystery book at breakfast, which his mom takes away because she does not want to hear. Apparently he's reading out loud.
Yeah. So, she could have told him, read to yourself or something. He's probably practicing his mystery narrator voice. Because, that comes in handy later.
It's a surprise tool that can help us later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She takes it away because she doesn't want to hear about mystery while she eats her breakfast. And Jack is disappointed because apparently mystery books are the only exciting thing in his life these days.
He just sounds like he has such a boring life. I wonder where Lucy is in this episode. It was weird hearing Jack without Lucy.
Yeah. Or Oscar.
Or Oscar.
Any side character.
The Jack and Oscar duo hasn't started yet, so it doesn't feel weird, to this point in the show, but, because we know later, it's a bit odd.
Yeah. Is this the only time we ever hear Jack's parents?
I believe so, yeah. Helen and Al Davis.
Jack wants some excitement for his day. His dad is somewhat sympathetic because his dad is going shopping with his mom, and apparently that's not very exciting either.
No, his dad
says something like, well, at least you don't have to go shopping with your mom. Yeah, I noticed that too.
Yeah. This reminded me of the Tangled Web when, with Roger Forsyth being like, I've already eaten my life's allotment of oatmeal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a little weird. They make it sound like they live outside of town. Did you get that feeling? Because he's like, do you want to walk into town, or do you want it to drive you into town? I don't know. The wording I felt was a little weird.
Didn't seem weird to me. They just don't live on downtown Odyssey because nobody ever lives in downtown anywhere.
Well, it didn't feel like downtown. I don't know. It made it feel. To me, I felt like Jack was separate from the rest of his life. That's why he was feeling so bored, because he had to walk.
I don't think he'd just be walking there if they lived outside of town.
That's true. I don't know. It just That's the vibe I got
Think
from
you're
it, but I could have
overthinking it.
been mistaken.
Yeah, but so Jack is gonna walk to Wit's End because he hasn't been there in a while, and it's at least somewhat exciting. And after he leaves, before his parents leave, his mom is talking to his dad. Says she's worried about Jack because he seems detached and he's off in his own fantasy world. Did you get the like? Have we even heard Jack really use his imagination to this point in the show?
Um, well, there was the Curbin family incident with his parents are going to
That
point him
that
over
that
there.
makes sense. Yeah,
Um, but that's it, I think. Although, and it's not necessarily his imagination, but like when he and Lucy end up at Wit's End instead of church cleanup day, like you do kind of get this idea that like he is kind of in his own little world a little bit,
yeah.
I guess.
But anyway, on his way to Wit's End, Jack runs into Officer Harley, although he doesn't recognize him at first because he's on his motorcycle wearing his helmet, and apparently he cannot tell who it is. But Officer Harley's back in town, and he came to give Steve. What is the last name? It's the guy from Harley Takes the Case, but
Steve Larson.
Larson, that's what it is. I couldn't tell what he said. It sounded like he said Steve Largent, which is an NFL wide receiver from like a long time ago. And I was like, that's not right. But anyway, he came because he had promised to give Steve a ride in that episode a while back. Was Officer Harley Takes the Case was like mid 20s, right? Like it was a long time ago.
I believe so. Yeah, I don't remember the exact number, but yeah, it's been a while since he left town. I
Yeah,
believe that, and that was his last episode before he left town. So yeah,
yeah. But anyway, he had been to Steve's house and Steve wasn't there. But Jack says Steve and his family had moved away, and he also doesn't know how he's going to give him a ride in his squad car when he's here on a motorcycle. He's like, well, why would a motorcycle officer be driving a car? Well, and it's actually his own personal motorcycle because you don't just go driving around in your police motorcycle when you're out of town, you know.
unless you're
Um,
like the Andy Griffith Show or something, because the squad car is Andy Taylor's personal vehicle.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a company car.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, since Steve wasn't there, Officer Harley offers to give Jack a ride on the motorcycle. Jack accepts, and we get to try to figure out who Roger is. I I actually knew beforehand that this episode was later remade into the Boy Who Cried Destructo.
Yeah, which is episode 255. If anyone
But
cares.
this particular set of dialogue is one of the ones that is um, reused like
Yeah,
almost word for word. It's like, ready to go, Roger. No, I'm Officer Harley.
yeah,
Who is
yeah,
this Roger guy?
yeah. The part was funny. It's also, since we've now brought it up that this gets redone as The Boy Who Cried Destructo, I was checking the guide for any fun tidbits on this episode, and that is the only Harley episode that was redone with Harlow Doyle as the Harley replacement,
Hmm.
which is interesting.
Interesting.
I hadn't really thought about
Makes
that,
sense.
but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that bit is quite funny. Are you Roger? Am I Roger? Who's Roger? Where is Roger?
Yeah.
Why is Roger?
So they decide on their motorcycle ride to go up to Trickle Lake, which I found a little interesting. Like in the remade version, they end up going up to wherever because Lawrence is already lost in his imagination. That's not why they go up there this time.
No, this
Um,
time they're just like, where should we go?
taking a pleasure ride out on the motorcycle.
Yep.
And so they go up to Trickle Lake. Jack spots an old deserted road and convinces Officer Harley to go check it out. Down the road, Jack spots an old van and some guys loading boxes, which Officer Harley thinks looks a little sketchy. So he decides to go talk it out. Says he's just going to go talk to him. You know, no one's ever been hurt by talking. But he hits a trap on the road with his motorcycle that sends him into, like, over the embankment down into the ditch. He's mostly okay, I guess. The guys see him, obviously, and Jack, and he yells at Jack to run for it. The guys at the van one chases Jack and one goes down to try to get Officer Harley. Um, and then Jack runs for town because Officer Harley told him to run, and the guy's gaining, so Jack has to hide. He hides in the bushes, and then he's able to get away, presumably.
Mm-hmm.
Did the guys have names? Because I know they did. I didn't
Jonesy
really pick up on
and Thompson.
Jones and Thompson. Okay.
Jonesy, not Jones. Jonesy.
Okay. I think I did. Yeah, I did have them as Jones and Thompson in the second half.
Yeah, well, yeah, their names are said more frequently in the second half, but I think Jonesy is the one who like chases Jack, and he's voiced by Phil Lawler, which is fun. And the voice of the other one, Thompson, is like the voice of the guy who's like in the Single Vote. Or no, is he in the Single Vote, or it's the guy like, well, now technically this here isn't a will. That's the ill-gotten deed, but that same voice, he does a Single Vote as well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's
Okay.
it's just a funny guy whenever he voices characters.
Okay. So back in town, before Jackie gets there, we find Whit teaching Connie how to drive.
This part of the story I wish had been like left in or like put in something else, because it's so great to hear Whit teaching Connie to drive, and until
In
later
the truck behind Whit's head.
Yeah. I almost thought he was gonna go, you put the key in the ignition and turn it away from you.
Yeah. I did have Connie picks it up fairly quickly.
And Whit is pretty
got the
patient.
truck going.
More patient than Connie is later with Eugene.
Well, it's not like Connie makes any particular mistakes either.
Well, no, but she is, I think.
She struggles
and stuff.
Yeah, I say she's not like smooth with it, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So he has her take the truck out towards the main road, and as they're going down the alley towards the main road, Jack comes running up and like apparently running like straight at them.
Yeah.
In which Connie is able to not hit Jack. Whit is not happy with Jack at all. Says, you nearly took 10 years off my life.
Which I can hardly afford to lose at this point. I was like, Mr. Whitaker, you don't have anything to worry about with your lifespan.
Right.
Yeah, that was really funny.
But Jack says it was an emergency because Officer Harley needs help and tells them the whole story. And nobody else even knew Officer Harley was coming back, so they're like, wait a minute, Officer Harley? Like, he's in town? Like, I didn't hear anything about that. And so he tells them, like, they went up there, they saw the guys. So after Jack tells them the whole story, Whit definitely doesn't necessarily believe him, but he says they'll go check it out after going and getting his parents. Which Jack doesn't think they have time to go get his parents, but with, like, it's on the way. So apparently wherever his parents were shopping is on the way to Trickle Lake.
Well, yeah, don't you know, to get from McAllister Park, you go through downtown to get to Trickle Lake. Everybody knows that.
Sure, yeah, I wrote that. So on his way, I just have a question. Did the audio at all give you the impression that Jack and Connie were in the bed of the pickup truck while the rest of them were in the front of Whit's pickup?
Yes, because if that was not the case, then Jack wouldn't be hearing, or Jack would have been hearing this conversation between his parents and Whit.
Exactly.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
I thought that was really odd, but I was like, that's the only explanation because Jack is not hearing this conversation.
Yeah. Well, maybe the truck doesn't have a back seat, so you have the three adults.
Yeah, that makes sense, I suppose.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Jack's parents are telling Whit about Jack's knack for making up stories. They tell him or remind him about the Kierbin family thing when he thought that the Mr. Kierbin was like a mafia scientist or something like that. Needless to say, they don't really believe Jack's story, but they're still going to check it out, mostly because Whit had already told Jack they would. So they get up there. First, they look over the embankment. They don't see a motorcycle there. They don't see any evidence of anything that would have taken the motorcycle off the road. They go check the cave. They don't see any tire tracks. They don't find anything else. Basically, there's no evidence to Jack's story. Although Jack continues to insist that he was not making up his story. His story was true, but his dad and mom both are getting very frustrated. And they're like, okay, enough with your story. It's time to go home. It's getting late. Jack still insists. And Whit, you can tell Whit doesn't really believe him, but at the same time, Whit realized like he is full out insisting like the whole time, like, and he said like he doesn't think he would keep doing that if he had been making it up.
Yeah, it's like he doesn't believe him, but he doesn't not believe him either.
Right, right. The back at Whit's end after everyone had gone their separate ways, the Davises had gone home, and Whit had done some phone calls and confirmed that Officer Harley wasn't at home, wherever home is, probably up in the city. I think that's where he went. I don't know what the city is, but Detroit.
Didn't he go up to Raleigh to, do fingerprints and through R? Or is that just our theory?
I think that was just our theory.
I prefer.
Yeah. And he also confirms that Harley had days off, but nobody knew where he was going, so there's no way to confirm if Odyssey is where he was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, over at Jack's place, he didn't eat much that night, or he didn't want to go to bed. He's just sitting out on the porch, and his mom comes out, tells him that his dad's already asleep. Apparently, grocery shopping makes him tired.
I shouldn't say they were grocery shopping. Whatever kind of shopping they were doing.
Then.
Yeah.
His mom asks him to take out the garbage before he goes back to bed, and tells him you need to be done with your story. You'll feel better in the morning. So he takes out the garbage for his mom, and then the guy who had chased him earlier in the day grabs him from behind the trash can and tells him that he'd better make sure that nobody believes his story. Jack's like, dude, chill. Nobody even believes me.
Yeah. Jack's gonna have a complex.
But the guy's like, you better keep it that way, or you're not gonna see Officer Harley again. And that is the end of part 1. I'm just to say, I thought Jones was just gonna take him, and the whole them believing his story was gonna be that he wasn't there in the morning. But that's not how it went.
That'd be a bit dark for this at this point in Adventures in Odyssey. I'd say you never put it past him, but
They have a 3-part episode about a blind girl getting kidnapped. I don't think it's too dark for Odyssey.
I said that, and then I was like, well, actually... Yeah.
Anyway, that's the end of part 1.
Mm-hmm. We have Chris asking us, what's going to happen to Jack? What's going to happen to Officer Harley? Who are these men?
Yep. Yeah, the next morning, Jones got back to the cave, tells Thompson that the kid was still at home, and Thompson's like, dude, you were supposed to bring him with you. What are we even doing here? And then Jones also told him I stayed in a motel overnight. I was like, well, why didn't you just say, here I am, come get me? But Jones was like, nobody believes the kid. I told him to keep it that way or he'd never see his friend again because we have him. And then Tom's like, oh yeah, one minor problem with that. Yeah, we don't have that guy.
They're both so disappointed in each other.
Yeah. Thompson had failed to grab Officer Harley because he'd already got away by the time he made it down to the embankment. He had hidden the motorcycle but not found Harley. Officer Harley woke up in the spare room in a home of a guy named Angus McKinney.
Yeah. Yeah, quite the name.
Huh?
It's quite the name.
Yeah. Who had found him on the side of the road the day before. And as Officer Harley's waking up, coming to, he finally remembers that Jack and realizes that he's got to tell somebody what had happened.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this guy McKinney doesn't have a phone, so he takes him into town. And let's see. In the morning at Jack's house, Jack's parents are on their way to the store again. It's a daily occurrence at their household.
Dad is so thrilled.
Jack apologizes to his parents for the day before, but once they leave, he heads out to the cave because he thinks he needs to find Officer Harley, but he knows he can't tell anybody about it because he was
Yeah.
told not to by the other guy, and he's like scared of what might happen to Harley if he tells
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah, well, that's not like it's not that he like just apologizes to his parents. Like he's very much like, yeah, sorry, I made the story up. Like he's playing it up that he made the story up. So
Yeah.
yeah. I found it a little funny. I don't know why that when his parents are leaving, his mom's like, "There's fruit and milk if you need anything." Like nothing like fruit and milk to sustain a growing boy.
I mean, those would be two good things to sustain a growing boy, actually.
I know. It was just I found it funny that those were the only those were the food options she left him.
I thought it was funny because his dad was like, "You should stay home and relax today," and he's like, "What if I stay home and help him relax today?"
Yeah, his mom's like, "No, no, Al."
But anyway, so he makes his way up to the cave again, and searching for something, any evidence, indication of where Officer Harley is. And as he's searching the cave, someone grabs him from behind, I believe as he has just found a bottle or something like that.
Mhm.
And, we're expecting it to be Jones or Thompson, but no, it's just Whit.
Just wait.
Just Whit. Whit had been looking more into Jack's story because something didn't sit right with him. Then at this point, Jack tries to convince Mr. Whitaker that he had made up the story because he's still worried about what might happen to Officer Harley.
Yeah, but Whit's like, "Are you not
He's like,
also
"No, I
here
just made it up." And Whit's like,
investigating your story?"
"Really? You just came up here even though you made it up?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I found the cave, so, I like it up here." He's like, "Oh, okay.
Whit's
So what do
like,
you want to know about the motorcycle that I found down there?
yeah.
Or these two trees that were clearly set up as a trap? Or these bottles that we just found?"
And then Jack confesses. And Jack's confession.
Yeah,
to
Jack
Mr.
confesses
Whitaker,
about the guy he visited him last night.
it very much reminds me of in The Last Great Adventure of the Summer when was that Terry's like, "Oh, Mr. Whitaker, that's just been terrible."
Yeah. But yeah, Whit tells Jack that these guys are bootleggers and it's time to call the police. But then Jones and what's his face, Thompson, show up. And then as they're like taking Jack and Mr. Whitaker to like their van, Jack goes, "You shouldn't do anything you'll regret later." And then Jones goes like, "I hate it when people say that. They always say it on TV."
Yeah, he's like, and then the bad guy always says, and then Thompson goes, "We won't regret anything." He's like, "We must have watched the same show."
Yeah.
I think it's funny when they catch
But then
them,
Jack and Whit,
and Mr.
yeah,
They're like, "Not so fast, Grandpa."
yeah. And then Jack and Whit kind of struggle, but are still taken to the cabin by the guys. Whit cuts himself on the glass from the bottle.
Yeah. Did you say
Um,
that Whit figured out these guys are bootleggers?
I did say that, yes.
Okay, sorry. I guess I wasn't paying attention.
And back in Odyssey, as Connie is reviewing how to drive, wondering whether or not she has to use a turn signal whenever she turns. I think that's what she was looking at.
I think it was like when
she-
getting off a curb or something. Like, I don't know if she's talking about like when you were getting out of parallel parking or something. I don't know. 'Cause I
It
don't
was
think
something
it
like
was
that.
just talking
And
about
she's like,
curb.
"I don't think you have to use it all the time." And then Officer Harley comes in and it's like, "You should always use your signal." And she's like, "Oh, thanks, Officer Harley." Officer Harley?
Yeah.
It's like, "You are here," which means Jack must have been telling the truth. And then Officer Harley's like, "Yes, he was. Where is he?" He's like, "Well, I don't know." But Whit went up to check the cave, and so Officer Harley goes to check the cave and tells Connie to bring her bring the police because Connie doesn't know if she can tell them how to get there.
I really thought this was going to set it up for a dramatic scene of Connie having to drive up to Trickle Lake. And I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get that.
Yeah. And I don't think we've mentioned this, and I think it's already happened twice, and it happens at least one more
She's
time.
offering to
And
drive.
several times throughout the episode when Connie just offering to drive, and they're like, no,
No.
Connie, you're not driving.
Yeah.
But up at the cave, Harley found the signs of the struggle of Whit and Jack, and then he found some tire tracks to the hidden road behind some bushes. Um, and he says he's going to leave a message for the police, and he says he's going to set up something, to have a surprise for the bad guys. At the cabin, Whit is telling the guys that they won't get away with it. Another one of Jones's least favorite phrases from his TV shows. And then he goes, well, first Whit details their operation, and Tom's like, "What did you do? Tell him about it." He's like, Whit's like, "No, I just figured it out. I'm not stupid."
Yeah. He actually
Doesn't
says
say
that
that,
earlier in the show when Connie asks why they have to drive the beat up old work truck, and it's like, because I'm nice, not stupid.
Yeah. But then after he had said they aren't going to get away with it, Joe's like, "What do you think's going to happen? Someone's going to break down the door?" Then Officer Harley breaks down the door. It's very much like in the Lego movies, like, "We need a hyperdrive. We don't have one of those. What do you think a spaceship is going to... Oh my goodness."
Yeah. What do you think a ship is going to come out of here? My gosh. Yeah.
The same
I thought
thing.
the same thing. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but Officer Harley breaks down the door, tries to make an arrest, but then is interrupted by Mr. McKinney. Because, surprise plot twist, Mr. McKinney's the boss of the bootlegging operation. I saw
honestly
that
did not
coming.
see
I don't
that
know if you did.
I did not.
Really?
Well,
I did.
wasn't really thinking about it. Like, I tend to not see plot twists because I'm not expecting there to be one, you know? So if I had thought about it, like, why would he have been introduced as a character? But
I saw it coming. I'm proud of myself now. I feel like you're better at plot twists than I am.
well, I don't think I am, so.
Anyway, he's the boss. It's like, this is in Olaf Presents. Guess what? I'm the bad guy. Or is that's actually from Frozen 2.
That's from
when
Frozen
he does that
2.
in Frozen 2.
What?
Guess what? I'm the bad guy. What?
Oh, no.
But yeah, so. What were you saying?
I just said, oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Mr. McKinney, the boss, he sends Jones and Thompson off to make the delivery because he's got them all in the corner now. And then as he's thinking about what he should do with them, we hear Jones and Thompson go off the road. And then we hear the police show up, tell everyone to come out with their hands up. Officer Harley had set up a trap for the van. I think he just wanted them to experience what he had gone through.
Yeah. I'm actually impressed that Officer Harley came up with this.
Well, and I have a thought, and I'll get to it at the very end of the episode about that.
Okay.
But yeah, the police had been trying to break up this bootlegging ring, but they hadn't had any leads. So, kudos to Officer Harley and Jack for helping them get the guys. And they all head back to town. Jack's like, "Can you all come help me tell my parents? Because if they didn't believe me before, they're definitely not going to believe me now."
Yeah. Connie's like, I can drive us.
Yeah. And Officer Harley tells Whit that he had a taillight out in his truck, and that could lead to a citation. Whit's like, "Well, I didn't know that." And then Officer Harley's like, "Well, you know what I always say. Ignorance to the law is no excuse." Has he ever say that? I do not remember him ever saying that.
I think he must
I'm sure he did.
I think of it with the Thanksgiving Carol, because when Harley or Harlow, whichever one you want to say it is, plays the ghost, when he goes, "Remember, ignorance of the law is no excuse."
Oh, is that what he says? I don't think
Yeah.
I ever knew what he even said.
Yeah, that's what it
That's funny.
is. Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he must have said it. Or they wouldn't have done that.
And then that's the end of the episode. Officer Harley says he loves coming back to Odyssey.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris's outro is basically just, if Jack didn't always let his imagination get away with him, people would have been more likely to believe him.
Yeah. I have a few random closing thoughts.
Final thoughts?
Yeah.
Okay, I have one, too.
Okay. One I have is, I think we have a missed opportunity. They should have had Hal Smith voice one of the bootleggers, like as Otis, because that just would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
Yeah. And then I liked that this episode, for one, it felt redemptive for Officer Harley, but I felt like it gave good character development for Jack. Like, this is good build up to Heatwave, I feel like. And also,
Yeah.
like, when he become, like, mostly for Heatwave, I guess. I don't know. It just adds more, gave him more character development that I just enjoyed, and I felt tracked well with later episodes. So I
Yeah.
thought that was cool. What were your final thoughts?
Yeah. My final thought was, like, I get he's already gone, Officer Harley, so it's not like they were trying to bring him back, like, permanently. Um, but this, and then his last episode before he left, which was Harley Takes the Case,
Mm-hmm.
both felt like episodes that they wrote in an attempt to make Officer Harley seem like a less goofy policeman because of their negative comments they'd received. It's
Yeah.
like, he doesn't, like, he's still a little bit goofy in both of them, but he does his job well, like, isn't yeah, I don't know. I just that's what it seemed like to me. Is like, are they just trying to make it better? Were they thinking about bringing him back, or were they just like trying to show that Officer Harley was a capable cop in addition to being a goofy guy? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think they were probably trying to redeem the character a bit. It does seem random for them to just like bring him back at this point in time, and then to not keep the. Well, I guess you can't. If you take out all Officer Harley episodes, you have to take out all Officer Harley episodes. You can't just leave these ones, because it would not make any sense. But yeah, these ones are definitely better.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that's about all the thoughts I have. You have anything else? Or
Think that's
we'll
it.
wrap it
So,
up.
once again, this Friday, 2 Fridays in a row, we are going to have a tier list coming to you because this is the last of the Officer Harley collection. So that tier list will be on YouTube this
Yeah.
Friday.
Is not it's our second tier list? Is it also our third straight Friday
Yeah,
episode?
yeah. Hope you're enjoying all these
Getting all
Fridays.
kinds of bonus content.
Yeah.
We hope so. But yeah, make sure you go over to YouTube to check that one out because our tier lists are YouTube only, YouTube exclusive.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you for watching and/or listening. Subscribe wherever you get the podcast. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Yep. And next time is an encounter with Miss Super. So we will see you then. Bye.